I think one of the biggest things a fleet can do is have an insurance agent that has their best interests in mind. Because for every good agent out there, there's, you know, probably a couple not so good ones.
I'd say the ratio
Or
is a little deeper than that.
maybe not such like bad ones, but there's ones that maybe just are green or they don't know or they're learning. It's very low. It is very easy to get into the insurance space, and people, all you have to do is, they throw you out there and you start cold calling people, and um, so they're learning too. But what would be some of the things that, your insurance agent should work for you and they should advocate for you and they should be doing these right things for you? But I do think it falls on the fleet to find the correct agent. What are some things that you think these fleets should be looking for, maybe asking their agents before they go into a policy term or before they sign up with a specific agency?
Yeah, that's the secret sauce right there. Um, you know, luckily, we don't sell insurance. And I don't say that to be negative. I say that because we have a very unique view and get to see all the bits and pieces of the commercial transportation insurance market. So, we get the privilege of, going over to London and talking to reinsurers and the underwriters and the claims folks that are kind of on the back end of the whole insurance claims process, and the ones making sure that things get settled. We get the opportunity to talk to the TPAs who handle the claims adjudication. We get to talk to the program managers and the insurers and cover holders and MGAs who are underwriting and placing risk, based on the capacity that they have, and determining premium and deductibles. And then we get to talk to the producers who are working directly with the fleets. And then we also get the opportunity to speak to fleets as well. So we have a very unique view into all those different bits and pieces. And so when I say I'm glad that we don't sell insurance, that's why, because we get to see all of those things. And so, if I were to kind of really say, what would I look at if I were in a fleet's position, and how do I qualify, if you will, um, a, a, a good agency partner versus a not so good agency partner? Number one, get educated. So you need to understand, um, even if you don't know the data that you should be looking at, you should be educated enough to say, I know that I should be doing something more, and help me
Mhm.
understand what that is. I would also ask an agency partner, producer partner, whatever you want to call them. I would ask them, do they have some sort of a risk group that you would work with? What type of external services or included services do they have available to coordinate with your coverage? And what does that all cost? What of it is included? What of it do you have to pay for separately? And then you can start to make decisions on what you want to do. But
I would
I
also say another thing too is um, bringing to the table maybe what you already are doing. So if you are
yeah,
utilizing telematics and you are utilizing cameras and you are doing the right things, I think going to your agent and saying, "Hey, I'm doing all of these things. How can this help position me better?" They should be able to say, "Oh, we can take that and do one, two, and three to help you," versus I kind of feel like if they don't have any idea of how that can assist or help them, that may be kind of a, maybe not a red flag, but just a, okay, they're not gonna use this any differently to help position me any better. So,
yeah, I totally agree with you. Uh, if they get the deer in the headlights look when you ask
yeah.
that question, or they have no answers, then I would be really strongly considering whether I've picked the right partner to bring my insurance to me. Because a good one, and we work with a lot of amazing producer partners and agency partners. They're always looking for how can they help the fleet, because at the end of the day, if you're in the fleet seat, that's a good one, huh? If you're in the fleet seat, you're gonna of course be looking at, what is this going to cost me? Why are my premiums going up? How come I'm hearing others are getting reduced premiums? How come I have high deductibles and others don't? And
Mhm.
it's a major factor in the financials of a fleet. So you should be asking them, how are you going to help me control these costs? Understanding that when you ask that question, the response should be from a good partner. Well, there are going to be things that you're going to have to do, some of which are going to cost you money, some of which are just going to cost you time and focus.
Mhm.
And so if an agency partner doesn't have those answers, I'd really continue to search for a good agency partner. And another thing, make sure you don't wait to the last minute. Because if you
That's
wait to the
huge.
last minute, yeah, like let's say if your insurance expires on August 1st and you're sitting at the end part of July and you're just now starting your search for a good agency partner and good insurance, you've already put yourself behind the eight ball because it
Well,
takes time.
I think that's something big fleets know, like the larger fleets, but smaller fleets may not. And I think a lot of times, agents may not reach out to the last minute because they've got, a plate full of things they're doing. Um, and I think when it comes down to the last minute, everything gets rushed and you're just, signing to have insurance in place. And then it's, oh, we'll catch up with that later. We'll review that later. And then another year goes by and nothing's happened. So I think that's a really good point to kind of make for the small fleets, especially. It's like you do have an insurance agent, but kind of going back to the last video, like you have to be your own advocate in a way too and speak up and vocalize and until, you so I think those are good points.
Yeah, and I think from a fleet's perspective, they should always be hungry for more information. So don't just get your insurance and then forget about everything, right? Because that's exactly what I was talking about, waiting to the last minute and then saying, "Oh, I have only one option and it's going to cost me 20% more." That's the wrong way to do it. It's like anything in life. You should be learning all policy year long. You should be asking questions the whole policy year long. And, 3 to 6 months before your renewal, you should be starting the process of saying, "Hey, I may or may not need um, a new agency partner because I'm just not getting the things that I think I should be getting." So always be learning, always be asking, and always be looking. That doesn't mean always be jumping from one agent to another because that's not a good scenario either. And that should be something that you're being educated by with your agency partner, your producer partner, whatever. But the fleets that jump around every 2 or 3 months, that's not a good data point either. That gets around in the industry. And insurers will see your name pop up with different agency partners throughout a course of a year, and it's not a good data point to have. But anyways, you should be learning throughout the whole course of the year, educate yourself, and start the process of renewal early, 3 to 6 months away from your expiration date.